Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. Hope you guys are doing well. Let's get into the latest news. So, injury reports ahead of tomorrow. We have the latest on Saka, the latest on Jurriën Timber, and also Calafiori, and also a bit of transfer news at the end of this video as well. But first, let's talk about Bukayo Saka. Tita's press conference was today. Obviously, we are finally playing after almost 3 weeks of not playing. Tomorrow you're going to play against Fulham, and this is what Tata had to say about Bukayo Saka. So he was asked whether Bukayo Saka is fit, and he said Bukayo Saka is good to go. He can already start versus Fulham. Yeah, we will see that tomorrow. All of the careful things is already done. It's about putting him on the grass in the right moment. He's pushing. He really wants it. Now, this is a huge plus for us, obviously, to finish off the season, and mainly because of that Champions League tie against Real Madrid. Now, I already did the preview for the Fulham game yesterday and all the teams and who I would start and all that. Make sure to check it out. That was yesterday. Do I think Atsa will start Bukayo Saka tomorrow? I would say no. I think he probably comes on, but you never know. It depends how long he's been training, how I don't think we are desperate. We're not desperate to win the Fulham game. If you are closer to Liverpool, then I think you start to just throw him back in. But I think because we've had an international break and Noner has been shining in his feet, and Trossard is fit, and Martinelli is fit, and Marina is fit, and Sterling is available for this game as well. I don't think we're going to start Saka, but you never know. He might end up starting and then maybe come off early. But also we have Everton on the weekend, the first kickoff on the weekend as well. So we are playing the first game on Tuesday, and you're also playing the first game on Saturday. So which one does Saka start? Maybe I think he'll start one and come off the bench for the other. Does he start the Real Madrid game? So what I was thinking is, Saka will be fit maybe by the Real Madrid game, and then we'll have him off the bench in the first leg, and then maybe start the game at the Bernabeu. But doesn't look like it. It looks like he actually might be able to start both Real Madrid games, which would be a huge plus for us. That's basically the last trophy you have to fight for this season. And Saka is a huge plus. Last season in the quarterfinal against Bayern Munich, he's the guy who scored the very first goal for us in that game. And, he made us believe even this season, Saka's missed like three months of action, but if you're to put a top 5 together of our best players this season, he could still easily be there because the impact he had at the beginning of the season, both in terms of goals and assists, Premier League, Champions League, I think he had a huge impact. So does it start tomorrow? That will be very interesting to see how it approaches this. So hopefully, though, going into next season and the next one after that, hopefully we have learned we cannot be playing Saka every game. No, those games where we are leading, I know we didn't have enough players. That is something we definitely need to sort out this transfer window as well. That thing of, we play against Preston and you're 3-0 up, and then you look at the bench and it's Rice on the bench, it's Saka on the bench, it's Odegaard on the bench, it's Saliba on the bench. We need to find a way to mix it up. Sometimes when Liverpool play a Carabao Cup game, they leave players like Saka back up. Saka does not play for Liverpool. Oh my goodness. That is disgusting. What kind of disgusting comment is that? Salah, they have similar names. Salah, not Saka. Salah, they leave Salah at home. They leave sometimes Diaz at home. Sometimes they leave, players like Trent at home. That is what we'll need to be doing as well heading into next season. That is something I want to see. When we're playing against, a championship team, a Division 1 team, and, it's a game we're expecting to win and we're 3-0 up at halftime, I don't want to see in the second half, Havertz comes off and then Saka is on, and then Trossard goes off, and then we bring in Martinelli, and then Rice comes off, and then it's Odegaard coming on. No, mix it up. Have a few first-team players on the bench just in case, and then you have a few youngsters. So you can bring on when you're up by 3 goals, 4 goals. You don't have to bring players like Saka, but we use Saka way too much, Even games where you're 4-0 up, he comes on. Very necessary. So let's hope we've learned a lesson in terms of that, because that is a player that we've desperately missed. Now, Ata also says he's pushing, he really wants it. I'm sure Saka wants to start right away this game that is coming up, but let's see how that one goes. So next one is Calafiori. Unfortunately for Calafiori, he is not going to be there. Ata said the Calafiori unfortunately picked up an injury with the national team. Unfortunate, but lucky it wasn't much worse. Hopefully a matter of weeks. So since the injury, it's almost 2 weeks since he picked up that injury. So I'm guessing we will miss the Fulham game and the Everton game and probably the first leg against Real Madrid. Hopefully we'll be back for the end of the season because attacking wise, Calafiori is very important as well for us. Going forward, he usually has the technique and he scores some crucial goals as well. So we want him in the team. We want him in the team for those games that are coming up in the remaining in the Premier League and in the Champions League. He will have an impact because we don't have too many. Now Saka is back, but we don't have too many other wingers to play. Like even if Sterling was an option, he's suspended for the Real Madrid game anyway. So Martinelli, Trossard, depending on who plays up front, do we have enough options for the left side? Or will Calafiori, be needed for a few minutes in one of those games? Probably. So I think he might be back for the second leg, but thankfully it's not as serious as it could have been. And unfortunately, like 3 of his injuries have been picked up during the international break, so that really sucks. So hopefully he's back soon, and quick recovery to him. Julian Timber, another player who missed this one missed both games during the international break. I also talked about him in the preview yesterday, whether I would start him or not. Julian Timber is available for selection after his illness during the international break. Mikel Arteta has revealed he was ill quite badly, but he has felt better in the last few days. He's back in training. He could start, but do we really have to start Timber against Fulham? We have a lot of defenders, and we have a lot of good defenders, players like Ben White who can play. So for me, if not 100%, Ben White is 100%. He's been resting throughout the international break. The correct thing to do is just to start Ben White and rest Timber up until he's 100%. I know left side now, Calafiori is out. You only have Lewis Kelly and Tierney Zinchenko are both there as well. So we do have options. On the right side, though, it's just Timber and Ben White. But that's enough. If Timber's not there, you play Ben White. If Ben White is not there, you play Timber. That's why you need a squad. And hopefully all of those players are still here next season, both Ben White and Timber, because we can use that rotation. We can definitely use that rotation. I think we've overplayed Timber this season anyway. Even without the illness, I think Timber's overplayed this season. Too many games after an ACL injury, but that's because Ben White was out for like 4 months, so we couldn't really do anything in regards to that. So that was unfortunate, but hopefully Timber does recover fully. He has been in training. I've seen his pictures in training, but I don't think we need him to, to be playing this game at all if he's not 100%. Real Madrid is coming up. Everton is coming up. There's still big games coming up. We still have to play Liverpool, Newcastle. No need to risk him. And listen, Ben White playing this game is not like a backup, like, oh my goodness, Timber is out, Ben White is playing now. Ben White is probably one of our best players the last 2 seasons as well. So he was very unlucky not to be in the team just because of the injury. At the beginning of the season, Ben White was playing, Timber was playing left back. That's how good Timber was. Ben White is and still is. And the funny thing is, we could easily see Ben White and Saka together on the right side and Odegaard for the first time in what feels like a year or something, like that connection between the three. It was really good last season. So I think Odegaard becomes a better player and Saka and Ben White there as well. But let's see. So that's the latest in terms of injury news. Next up, let's go to a bit of transfer news. So let's start with this one. Obviously, talked about Gyokeres yesterday, and according to reports, Martin Zubimendi and Viktor Gyokeres are Arsenal's priorities. Now, we all agree that our priority is to get a striker. Most people do say the second priority is to get a winger. Some people say it's to get an attacking midfielder. Some people say it's to get a number 8, an attacking number 8. Some people say it's Odegaard plays number 8. Let's get another number 10. And we are potentially going to get a midfielder. I don't think it's a priority, but we've seen people saying they want to be Mendy, other people saying let's get Bruno Guimaraes instead. Now, I don't think it's a priority. After that season where Xhaka was leaving, midfield was our priority. We needed to get a midfielder that season and a defender after that season. Last season, at the end of the 23-24 season, we needed to get a striker and a backup for Saka. I think those are the 2 main things. This season, we know it's a wing and a striker that we need. But depending on the midfield situation, now, the fact that we are going to splash 60 million for Zubimendi, I don't think Zubimendi is going to come to us to be on the bench, and Rice is definitely not going to be on the bench. So this really has me thinking about Thomas Partey. It's either one or 2 things. Either the transfer window comes up and then we just don't sign a midfielder. We end up keeping Partey, and Merino plays in midfield as well starting from next season, and then we just don't do anything with that. Or we do sign Zubimendi and Partey becomes a bench player next season, rotates with Zubimendi, or both Partey and Jorginho leave. I think that is very likely. That is very likely. But again, it all depends. I don't think it just depends on whether Arsenal want to keep him. It also depends on whether Partey wants to stay. We are not sure if he definitely wants to stay or he wants to go and finish off his career in Saudi Arabia. So all that considered, I think Partey has been really good for us this season, as I've always said, especially that patch where we were playing badly. He was one of the standout players. I would probably give him 1 year, 1 more year to stay. But I don't know if the club is going to do that. Jesus is on high wages. Havertz is on high wages. Partey is on high wages. Jesus cannot be sold. He's injured. So he's going to be here until at least the whole of next season. So I don't know how much in terms of wages we can spend throughout the season. But I think we're going to have to make maybe deal with other positions. Maybe you have to sell a few players to put all that in terms of salary to players like Gyokeres. But hey, it depends. Let's see how it goes. We don't know how much Gyokeres would want per week and all that. But listen, I'd be very happy to keep all of those players because we do need bench players next season as well. We don't want our bench to just have youngsters and defenders. No, I want to see a squad where sometimes you have Partey on the bench, or sometimes you have Zubimendi on the bench, sometimes Marine is on the bench. You look at the bench, Trossard is there, Martinelli is there, Ben White, Timber is there, Calafiori, Lewis Kelly is there. I want to have a strong lineup next season. We can't have a team where we just have 15 good players now. But that's the latest on Zubimendi is a priority according to reports, and obviously Gyokeres talked about yesterday or earlier today. Gyokeres is literally going to cost less than 60 million, and this has excited a lot of people, including myself. This would be a big signing if we got the Gyokeres deal done. If you get Zubimendi as well, I do think we need a winger desperately too, but let's see how it goes. Both of them, if both of them happened, I'll still be very happy, very, very happy. But again, it depends. Who do you prefer? Would you rather get a second striker again in Konya and then forget about a midfielder? You have to keep on refreshing the team. Remember, in the next 2 years, for example, Partey will not be here, Jorginho will not be here, Trossard will not be here, Tomias will not be here, Jesus will not be here. Who else is approaching 30? Zinchenko will not be here. Who even knows will be here in the next 2 years? Who knows? So things will change by the time we get to 2026, 2027. These players are not going to be here forever. So that's why they usually keep on going for younger players and stuff. So let's see though, but these ones are not young though. These ones are very experienced, the players that we are linked to. Lastly, let's talk about Jakub Kiwior. According to Mercato, in the last few days, Bayer Leverkusen have inquired about the situation of Jakub Kiwior at Arsenal. Defense. I think you need 2 players every single position. I've talked about Saka not playing every single day. I also don't want next season Gabriel and Saliba when you're up against Rochdale from Division 2, Gabriel and Saliba starting. No, we need some rotation. We definitely need some rotation. Calafiori is a centre-back. Maybe next one is going to be used more as a centre-back. Ben White can play as a centre-back. Timber can play as a centre-back, so that helps. I think all 5 of those players will be here. Calafiori, Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White, Timber. Lewis Kelly will be here. That's 6. Tien is leaving, so Zinchenko, Kiwior. I don't know if you're going to sell both Zinchenko and Kiwior. I think at least one of them is going to stay. Now, which one? I don't know. Like, for me personally, I know you have to sell players, but as backups, I'd be happy to keep those players as backups because I don't want us to go again and start looking for more defenders. Because now if we sell Zinchenko, Tien, and Kiwior, we are going to go again and try and get another defender. Is it worth it to waste our time on defenders again? I don't know. For me, I'd be happy to keep them as bench players, but again, it depends. Does Kiwior want to stay or does he want to go and play first team football? How much money can we get for him? If someone came and offered 7-8 million for Kiwior, we don't have to sell him, just keep him there. Unless they're giving us something really substantial and you're like, yeah, this is really good money for Kiwior, then you sell and then you get another backup. But if they're not giving us enough money, does he have to leave? I wouldn't really be, desperate to get it done. But as the question asked there, how much should I sell him for if you were to sell him? I'd say at least 20 million. At least 20 million if you're going to sell Kiwior. That's my price. If no one is giving us that kind of money, absolutely no need of selling him because, again, who is going to be backup for Gabriel and Saliba apart from Calafiori, who is even better as an attacker anyway? So I don't want us to go try and look for another defender again. I don't want to waste time on that again. So let's see though. If Kiwior is happy to stay and then play the cup competitions and back up Gabriel next season, I'd be happy to do that. I'd be happy to do that. But let me know what you make about all that we've talked about in this one. The video earlier, we broke down the latest on Gyokeres, the breaking news on Gyokeres that David Ornstein broke yesterday. So make sure to check that one out. And also the match preview for Arsenal and Fulham from yesterday. Tomorrow is the game match reaction after the game, as always. Let's hope we can get a win after that Chelsea game. Let's make it 2 back-to-back wins. Let's head into that Real Madrid game high on momentum. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.